get to drive the 13 mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm with Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing. Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, this is Dylan Smith. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Amber Colvin, and I'd like to thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hey everybody, it's Let's Talk Racing. Welcome to the show tonight. You had no idea it was starting. He was late too, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
He was late. So I'd rub that in a little bit.
Rub it in.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't rub it in last week because of you.
I was not late last week. I was here and I was on time and I was fine.
Is this now the wine and cheese show? I thought this was Let's Talk Racing. Enough with the wine and the cheese.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
We
about.
got a new background too, which
Looks
is
good.
really nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I figured instead of the big ones, and everybody nowadays has all the little ones scattered all over it, I figured it looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It'll still look nice.
Well, let's welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing
Yep.
TV.
We have Jason and Justin here.
What's going on?
Y'all know me. I'm
No, we
Krystal
don't know you.
Hurr.
Don't know you.
Oh, you don't know me? Oh, such a shame. Oh, hi, I'm Krystal
Tonight-
Hurr. How are you?
Tonight we're supposed to be having Molly Helmuth, David Polenz, and supposedly one of the ARCA PR guys calling in talking about the testing this weekend down in Daytona
Nice.
for the ARCA. Hopefully Terry can get down there and get her stuff done.
Oh, really? That'd be awesome.
If they don't make it, they were supposed to send me some information and never did. If not, we have a standby. His name is Bob Schacht,
All right.
and he supplies a lot of the race cars for the testing.
Oh, that'll be cool.
So
So how's your week been, Roger?
Huh?
How's your week been?
So.
So.
This is everybody's racing fix. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, even Speed Channel's playing replays of all the Cup races and everything.
Oh
so
my, it's gotten to that?
yes,
Goodness gracious. Oh Lord.
it's hitting bad. So anyway, any of you guys got any good news of what's going on lately?
Got a lot of new paint schemes coming out on the internet.
Yeah, Justin's looking them up over there, and a lot of them look real nice.
Jski.com is going to give you a lot of them.
Should be in the left-hand corner as soon as you go there. So all of them, actually.
And they look really nice.
Were y'all following any at all of what was happening at Charlotte during the testing?
See that one of the days got rained out.
Yep.
Casey Kane was fast. 193.
He set a new record.
Wow.
Really?
New track record out there.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's impressive.
Well, that's with the new car. I mean,
Right. That's cooking around that track.
him, then Kenseth, then Harvick, then Montoya, and then Smith.
With
And
speeds
that
like
was
that,
like-
when are they going to start putting restrictor plates on them? I mean, that's what, 5 miles an hour slower than what they do at Daytona.
And that's full 758 horsepower.
Yeah, but they're still under 200.
Yep.
So I reckon that's the magical number.
How long do you give it until they hit 200 at that track? That or Atlanta?
When was the last time Charlotte was repaved?
Down me.
Right.
I don't think it was that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
It was like about
'Cause-
within the past 10 years.
Yeah. But if they repave, well, they'll probably go over 200 at some of these new paved tracks. Oh, except for New Hampshire, though.
You get 200 in New Hampshire, you got a problem.
I bet your modified can do it.
Oh, Lord.
You know, Reagan was driving.
Oh,
Reagan
Dave-
Smith was running
Jeff Gordon's car?
Jeff Gordon's car.
Oh, really?
So
Well, I see Jeff Gordon in the next 5-10 years, maybe 5 years. I'd say being a car owner.
He's already half.
he already,
Yeah,
he's
well, I'm
already
talking
half
about- I'm
with
talking about
Jimmy's.
full-
Yeah.
On full time, he'd be out of the rut. I mean, he'd be staying with the
So when he stops driving, who gets Jimmy?
you.
Gordon or
Oh.
Hendrick?
Uh-oh.
Because if I remember correctly, Gordon's the one that brought him into the scene. Rick just said, "I'll let you drive my stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So where does his allegiance lie?
Good question. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Going over the
I think they're still trying to find some sponsorship from Bobby Lamonte too with JTG Daugherty Racing. Looks like they've been talking to North Carolina-based House Autry Mills for the Sprint All-Star race.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, they're also going to be on there for the AAA 400 at Dover. And they're going to be associate sponsor for 21 races on the 47 Toyota.
Good deal. And
It's chicken, seafood, and pork.
Oh,
Sausage,
they're all
cornmeal,
braised.
hush puppies.
Oh, North Carolina.
all out of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to get Joey Meyer
Uh-huh.
on here from Brad's team. The hard part now is with, and I don't know if you guys have already been hitting parties already for Christmas and everything. I know I've already been invited to a bunch already, and that's what a lot of these drivers are hitting.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting invited to this place and the other, and teammates, things like that. So it's might be a little slim pickings when we get closer to Christmas.
But
We'll have Krystal wear a reindeer suit.
Excuse me?
reindeer.
That ain't happening.
So the new cars will next test in Daytona January 10th at Daytona. What kind of speeds are they going to put out there?
Fast, I would presume, if any indicators are from Charlotte already. But you got to remember, well, I don't know how cold it's been at Charlotte during the testing, though, even though they got rained out. And of course, the Daytona 500 countdown, we were sitting at 73 hours. So 73 days,
73
18
hours.
I see
hours.
73
That was
You
everybody a
wish.
curve.
Everybody wished it was only that short.
73 days, 18 hours, 11 minutes, and bing, 21 seconds.
And counting.
Well, you're still on delay, aren't you?
Yeah.
Minus, subtract, or add 30, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Take and pop up some of these paint schemes here.
Wish they could. Is there a way that we can get them to be able to see it? 'Cause some of these are really nice.
Well, you gotta wait for the crazy page. You got all the graphics on it.
No.
Take a bit.
I say this with a light heart because of where I work, but I gotta say the McDonald's paint scheme on the number one car looks pretty sweet.
Do you know if BK's going to be staying with Tony?
That's all corporate stuff. I don't ever get that stuff.
Well, also Landon Castle ran it last year in the 83 car. Him and Travis Waffle with the 93.
All right, let's see. McDonald's car.
Dun, 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 dun.
I like the red.
I like it.
That's a nice candy apple red.
Yeah.
Make a good Happy Meal toy.
Let's ding that sucker up. Look at how the wheel wells are shaped now on these suckers.
We were looking at Jeff Gordon's and they got a picture of the back and they have decals for the dual exhaust.
You're kidding me.
No.
Scroll
What?
down.
Look.
Oh, hang on. I'm checking them out as I'm zipping through here.
I like the foamy
How'd you get into
lugs
racing?
on the side.
How'd I get into racing?
Yeah, 'cause
We're
of
doing
Roger?
another interview thing. No, I was born and raised around a family who loved and always watched racing. My mom always watched it. My dad always watched it. And of course, Roger and all of them were watching it too. So I just watched it and became a part of it. Loved it. Got hooked on it. So my mom's family is from Kannapolis, North Carolina. So if you don't like NASCAR, you're kind of shunned a little bit in the family, if you get what I mean. But I've always loved racing, and Roger's been able to finally take me to the pits and watch some really big races like Richmond and Martinsville live. The only place I really went to ever since he took me was Langley and the local track near here. But I've always loved racing ever since I can remember, because my family was always watching it. We'd always watch the races on Sundays and Saturdays.
I think they use the same red.
Candy apple?
Yeah, doesn't it look like it?
Yeah. Looks a little better on that car, though.
Yeah, those fender wells, when they're sticking out, that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. Goodyear can finally get some decent advertisement over top the wheel well.
Check out the 20. And tell me if this car doesn't look pink or red.
It looks pink.
Uh-oh.
Do you know how to work
You
it?
can do it?
You
gotta do it, Roger. It's 4 minutes early.
That's fine.
Let's talk racing.
I don't mind if he's early.
Hello.
It's punctual.
Yeah, he's punctual. He's
Hello,
on
this
time.
is Let's Talk Racing.
Anybody answering?
So, were you one of my biggest fans?
With who?
You ran,
No
you said-
comment.
You
Who's
said
this?
to run out there in Langley before.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, with
For a
Molly.
while.
Okay.
I love going to the line race.
Let me look here. Hold on a second.
So-
Give me a second.
Sorry. We're live still, right?
Yes, we're still live. This show doesn't stop.
Okay.
There's no
Yeah,
pause button.
we're figuring 7:15.
What type of question is
But
that?
that's okay. Is she there with you?
I think we
What
got
in the
Molly.
world is going on? We don't know what's going
Oh.
on. Roger's
Are
hopping
you
the
not listening
phone.
on the internet? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Well, she hasn't called yet. I'll put you on hold, okay?
So what's going on?
I reckon that's her dad.
Oh, Molly, that's her dad.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have them both talking, or just Molly?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. If you want to, go ahead and push the speaker and hit the phone line first, then the speaker.
No, look at you. Then speaker. Let's talk racing.
Nope, gotta do it.
Anybody there? I think he messed up. Did he do it right, Roger?
I don't know.
It's supposed to be blinking.
No, you're supposed to be able to hear the person.
Try again?
They're not hearing. Did you hang up on her?
No, I don't.
We're having technical difficulties.
No.
It's Let's Talk Racing.
You still there?
I'm still here.
All
Are
right.
you Molly's dad?
No,
Nope.
friend of mine.
Friend
Okay.
Molly.
I thought you were her dad calling in to talk to. We'll let you hang in the background there when she gets calling in here in a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm one of her sponsors, so
Oh.
good.
all right, that works.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before she hops on there.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Tell us a little about yourself, sir.
I'm Jeff Ritter. I'm in Seattle, Washington area. I'm a Advocare distributor, Advocare nutritional products. You may have heard of it in the racing world and stepped into NASCAR quite a bit lately. And she uses some of the energy drinks and some of the nutritional products through me.
Good deal.
That sounds awesome.
So
How'd you get involved in the racing?
Raced motocross as a kid and stepped away from it for quite a while and met Molly through go-karting and here in the local area, and she introduced me to Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, and have been involved in it ever since. Followed her through karting and mini stocks and up into late models.
Cool.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Didn't expect to be talking here. I
So
was just calling in to listen.
how did you get to meet Molly and you become a sponsor for her?
I met her when she was 15, and I was racing I got invited to race an indoor go-kart race. It was a 100-lap race, about a 45-minute race, and she came in third, and I came in fourth, and it was a great race, and I had people telling me that I did really good against someone that raced out at the NASCAR track at Evergreen Speedway. I didn't know that there was a racetrack out here, so I was fairly new to the area, and her dad, Mike, invited me to come out and see her race in her Rotax go-kart, and it's been that way ever since. She started using some of the, not really the kids' products, but some of the energy drinks and things that I offer, and we've been co-promoting and things like that ever since.
All right, that sounds good.
So you guys got anything lined up next season yet?
Nothing wrote down, but always co-promoting and always working together. I'm planning to stay with her family through everything. Their family's amazing. You'll get to. Have you met Mike, her dad?
No, sir.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, oh great, I'm the first one. No, they're a great racing family, and they've invited me to race their Hornet class car in an enduro up here at Evergreen Speedway, and just one of the drivers and have fun. And their family has been really good to me, and I've got a 16-year-old daughter. She's more into horses, so I've got my daughter in horses, and Molly's like my pseudo daughter in racing. So I've got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, horses is a good thing. Keep her in that. I'm a horse gal and a racing gal, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
My daughter at the kart track has a faster lap time than Molly does.
Oh wow.
And I wouldn't mention that though.
No,
not at all. Does she race? Does she ride Western or English in horse?
Western is what she's learning.
Good.
She's been in it for about 2 months.
Oh wow.
Has always, she wanted to be a veterinarian since she could talk, and always wanted a horse. And at the end of the summer, I got her into horseback riding lessons, and she's been doing great ever since.
Oh, that's awesome. I like the Western better than English, so keep her a part of that.
Good.
It'll be a great thing to do. I remember I was riding for a long time. First time my grandfather got me on a saddle when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Nice. And who is this? I'm not sure who you are.
Well, I'm Krystal Hurr. I'm Roger Brehm's niece, and I help him with the show. And I got Jason here next to me, and of course Justin on the end. If you're watching the show, you'll be able to see us.
Okay. If I go on the, I'm out mobile right now, so I'm just on my phone and tablet.
All right, that's cool though. Who else do you have on the line, Rod?
We now have Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Hello, how are you guys today?
We're all doing great. How about you?
Welcome to Let's Talk Racing.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the show today.
Oh, no problem. We're glad to have you on.
Thank you so much.
You mind telling everybody who's new to the show a little bit about yourself and maybe what you have planned for next season in racing?
Yes, absolutely. So, my name is Molly Helmuth, and I got started in go-karts at the age of 11. And I'm from Seattle, Washington, so I'm out here racing around the Pacific Northwest. And I got started in mini stocks at the age of 14 and worked my way up into Pro 4 trucks, Ford Focus midgets, and now super late models. So just kind of making my way up into different series. And actually last week, I got a call from Brett Bodine, and he has checked me off to run in the K&N series. So I'll be running in K&N West this season for 2013, just for a couple races, just to get track time in a different series. But I will also be running a full season at my local track, Evergreen Speedway, in the super late model division. And I've also got accepted to run ARCA. So hopefully maybe we'll get one race or 1 or 2 races at the fall of 2013 as well. So
that's awesome. That sounds great. So mind telling us a little bit how you met your sponsor who's also online with us right now?
Yeah, so my sponsors have been a great support in my racing career. They are Security Imaging, Jana Helmuth, CPA, Glenwood National Auto Parts, Squires Machine, Epic Firearms, and Fit and Train Racing. And they've just done a great deal for the MHR team But, we're always looking for the major one that will help us succeed in all of the divisions that I hope to be working up into. So, my main goal is to be racing up in Cup one day. And, with the tough economy, it's really hard for us to get that big sponsor. But, one race for, a certain amount of money is just perfect for us. But, it's hard finding them, but we're just going to keep looking. So I do have a good relationship with all of my sponsors. It's a big family, and that's what we want everyone to be a part of. It's a family thing. It's not just, here, give me money. It's a big family sport, and so we try to make them feel at home.
Well, we got one of your sponsors on the phone as well. You want to say hi?
Sounds good. Hi.
Hey, Molly, it's Jeff. I just called in.
Hi,
Jeff. I was just trying to listen in. They put me on the spot.
Well, there you go. You got your radio airtime. There you go.
Great.
Oh, we hear that you're Washington State Rookie of the Year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
17 years old, Rookie of the Year of the entire state in a Super Late model.
Wow.
It's crazy.
She's my age doing that. That is awesome. You keep that up. And I've heard you become the youngest female driver in the Super Late Model division of NASCAR when in the All-American Series to earn this. Wow, that is awesome.
Well, I didn't know that I was the youngest in All-American, but, that's pretty cool. I just thought I was the State Rookie of the Year for Evergreen, so that's really neat to win that honor. I went to North Carolina this past weekend, and I had an amazing time there. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and it was such a friendly environment, and I got to see what it was like if I were to move to North Carolina in the future to aspire my racing career. So it was really cool to see what it would be like, and I got a lot of shop tours of Hendrick and Junior Motorsports, and I just met so many cool people, and I just I knew that I loved racing and all, but I didn't know I loved that much. So that was really cool to see that and have that experience.
So when you were growing up, some of your racing heroes, you got any racing heroes? Sorry. Hello?
Can't say Molly?
What was that? Sorry.
Oh, is that
do you have any inspirations in racing, or you have any racing heroes that you watch and you're like, wow, that's my inspiration, that's my hero, that's who I want to be like one day?
Yeah, well, not really, honestly. I have my favorite race car drivers, but I don't really look up to anyone. It's kind of, I just look at the bigger picture of all the drivers that are up in NASCAR and what they're doing and how they've made it up to a career. So I just look at all of them as a whole, and that's just where I want to be one day. But there isn't one particular driver that I want to be like. So.
Has anybody else in your family raced, or are you the first person to race?
No, my uncle actually got me started in the sport. He has been racing for 20 plus years, and I would go out to the racetrack when I was around 2 to 3 years old, and I was just hooked from the beginning. And so he got me started with that, and it's history. So.
Wow, that sounds great.
So you've had 7 top 10s in the 2012 season, and 1 podium. Was a 3rd place, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Out of those races, anyone stick out in your mind that you won't forget?
Yeah. So I think it was probably my second race. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't the second race of the season, but we were on the 5/8, and it was my first time, or my second time on the 5/8, and at Evergreen Speedway, and I was competing with, I think I was in about 5th place or 6th place or something like that, and I was just competing with 2 other drivers that were in front of me for a couple laps, and then on the very last lap, they got kind of held up into lap traffic, and I passed them on the outside on the last lap. And
outside.
So what's that Evergreen track like? Got a lot of banking, flat track?
It has a little bit of banking. It's not, super banking, but there is banking there. It's not too flat, but there is a lot of banking. It's a really fun track. It's going to be my home track, so I have to talk good about it. But, I love it. I love it so much.
So you run the number 92?
I'm the number 92, but I won't be it for long.
Okay. Is that in any significant number, or is it just...
You know, when I was racing in go-karts, I started out with the number 22 because that was my basketball number.
Uh-huh.
And there was another kid in the class that was the 22, and he had the same helmet as me, the same go-kart. And so we had to put a number in front of instead of the 2, and so my dad put number 92. I don't know why, but that was just the number that he chose, and it just stuck throughout my whole career. And the downside of it is that, you know, there's another guy in the super late model class that has the same number as me, and so I'm going to have to change it to number 90. But my dad's a huge fan of Dick Trickle, so we'll get some good luck with that.
I was noticing before the show that actually there are 2 other female drivers I know, and they both carry the number 92 on their cars as well.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. Maybe it's just a number for females, but you know, I'm really sad to be leaving it. But in any series that I'm going to, or any teams that I'm going to be driving for, you know, I'm not going to always have the number 92, so I better start breaking that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm skimming through your Facebook pictures, and we're all looking at them here.
Roger tends to do that with a lot of people who are on the show, so don't worry, don't feel alone.
You got to meet Mike Helton. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So he was at the awards banquet, and he was there to hand out the championship rings and kind of just, you know, be there. He's a very, very nice guy. He was, you know, I obviously don't personally know him, so he's kind of shocked that I was there in front of him wanting a picture, I guess. So very, very quiet, very tall, but he's very cool. And it was a pleasure meeting him. Like I said, I just met a lot of cool people that I would never have dreamed of meeting, so that was really a good honor to meet him.
So you enjoy your time down there in Charlotte?
Oh, absolutely, I want to go back.
What did you think of the Hall of Fame?
That was a really cool place. I first saw the Hall of Fame on American Pickers. There was like an episode where they were trying to find things for the Hall of Fame, so when I was watching, I was like, man, I want to go there. So then I finally had my opportunity to go this weekend. It's what I expected it to be like, big, very cool, unique items that were there. It would take so long to go through all the history, though, and read all the little sideboards and listen to all the talkings about the people that are in the Hall of Fame and stuff. Like, it would take forever. So I was only in there for like 2 hours because I had to go get my hair done for the banquet.
So you would recommend it, so?
I would recommend it, absolutely. It's a very cool historic place, and especially check out the wrecked cards exhibit.
Uh-huh.
I took a couple pictures, so if I ever get in a wreck, that like I can redeem myself and be like, wow, at least it's not this bad. So.
Have you had any bad wrecks in your career?
My worst one was this season, actually. I was on 5.8, and I got a cut in my tire, and I wrecked into the wall. I spun, and then I wrecked into the wall. I backed into the wall, and then I got hit from the front. The car was pretty much just smashed. I had to go to the hospital, and I had a concussion, and so
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was probably my biggest one, and I hope to not get any worse than that.
No.
Yeah, let's not. I've had a concussion before, and that stuff isn't fun. Tell you that.
She ain't been right ever since.
Well.
Oh, ha ha ha! I didn't get it from riding, Raj. So you funny.
So what? Have you got some plans lined up that are firm and in place yet?
You know, so we're going to be sticking with a couple of sponsors that I've had in the past years, but we still are working with a couple other sponsors for the 2013 season. So we're just trying to work those out and see what funding we will have to run different races for.
Good deal.
All right.
So, I mean, you want to stick with NASCAR, or have you ever thought about any other types of, like, open-wheel cars or anything like that?
Well, last year I ran a Ford Focus Midget with the Ron Sutton driver development team in Stockton, California. And that's an open-wheel car, which I ran. And what I don't know if you guys have heard about the program, but it's closing down, and so they actually gave me the car that I drove. So I'll be running a couple races just for fun and to show the people that what I was doing down there in California, and race it at my home track. So that should be fun. So a little bit of open wheel, but that's pretty much it. And maybe a few go-kart races here and there, but I highly doubt it. We're just going to be mainly sticking with the full-size stock car and just getting track time at different tracks and bigger tracks and just working my way up. And
Well, we're all rooting for you here.
Well, that sounds great. So we're about to have another caller soon, so how about you thank your sponsors before we let you go?
Yes, I would like to thank Security Imaging, Jan Helmuth CPA, Linwood Napa Auto Parts, Squires Machine, Epic Firearms, Spit and Trim Racing, and I'd also like to thank my family, my crew, Greg and Doug Bennett, Rich Palmer, Toby Jenkins, Ron Sutton, Wonder Circle for my 2012 season, my competition, my fans, and to follow me, you guys can follow me at mollyhelmuth.com, or you can follow me on Twitter, which is at molly_helmuth92. Actually, no, cross that out. That's number 90 now. You guys can like me on Facebook. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 likes. I'm at like 736 or something right now, and so I'm trying to get it up to 1,000. And so whoever gets to 1,000 likes will get a Molly Helmuth gift bag, and so or a cool package. So I'm trying to get that up and root for me for the search for a champion. Starting in 22 days. So sign up and start voting on my video.
Will do.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Well, we're going to let you go, okay? Thank you so much for being on the show. We'll have you back on it soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Man, she had that down pat. She was
Yeah.
rolling.
We had her on before. She's really good with it.
The bad part was since she had her sponsor there listening, our next year I couldn't call in yet, so
Aw.
that's alright. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Number 90. A lot of good cars.
Yes.
That ran the 90 number.
I think it's funny that she happens to be driving 92, and like Raj says, all those other ladies
Yeah.
are driving 92. Maybe it's a thing that all lady drivers. It's a sign that y'all will get the 92 car. I just think that happens to be funny. I've never
So what,
realized.
Danica got to go to 92 to be any kind of good?
I'll have to think about that. Let's talk racing.
Hey, it's David Polenz. How are you?
I'm doing great, David. How are you doing tonight?
Not bad at all.
That sounds great. We have also Jason and Justin here on the show, and I'm Krystal Hurr. We'd like to thank you for being on here tonight.
Doesn't she sound so formal?
Oh, ha, 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 Raj.
And we had dinner together the other night.
Should she have the mouth closed?
It's a show. You're supposed to be formal. You just want me to need...
Oh, gosh. Stuffed shirt and everything, I tell you.
Oh, well, ha, ha, ha to you.
Well, welcome to the show, David.
Ignore Roger, as usual.
How was that long drive home?
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good.
How was that long drive home after the racing?
Long. Basically put it right there, but it wasn't too bad because Ryan drove most of the way. Since he got his couple laps in the go-kart there, I said, you have to drive home because I ain't driving. Because that ain't right. It was alright, you know, it was a good time when we went down, and I had fun hanging with you guys and watching Davey go out there and put down a pretty good whooping until, you know, unfortunately that car failed on us, but, you know, that happens. It's part of racing.
Conspiracy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
We're going to have a big talking with them boys before we go back. That's for sure.
Oh, Lord.
The manager didn't bring his extra spare carts and sent the crew, the mechanics home.
All home.
Both of them. Jeez.
Well, we had plenty of mechanics there. Just
Yeah.
Evidently.
We'd have gone out there and had that sucker fixed in a heartbeat.
Oh, I know we could have, but that's all right. You know, it is what it is. It was a good time anyway. That's what counts, and I'm sure you know, worked out good for the charity. But next time, yeah, they'll have to throw some extra couple carts out there because they should know us Old Dominion guys are going to beat the heck out of it when we come down.
How much money did they get for the charity, Roger? Do you know?
Last I heard, they had screwed up so much stuff that they were making everybody have to show receipts to where they paid the track so that they could figure out the money that was supposed to be going over to Children's Hospital.
Oh, gosh. Well, I wish I would have been able to tell you how much money was raised, but you see, that's not really going to happen.
Usually when I get involved in a charity, we surpass whatever the goal was.
But now, you don't even know what the total is.
I know!
Jeez, it's crazy.
So, Davis, tell a little bit about yourself. It's been a while since you've been on the show. So, can you tell a little about yourself?
Do your little bio.
I raced up at Old Dominion Speedway and won the 2011 championship. Finished, I apologize. The 2011 championship, and then 2012 we finished second. And been running late models. Last year was my 4th season, so we're going into what may be my 5th season, or there's something else big in the works here. So we're working on it. We'll see what happens. Just got to get some big sponsors to hop behind us and push us to where we want to be right now and where we think we belong. And we might have a big season coming up.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your season coming up and what all, is going to be happening.
You know more than I do right now. Because that's about all I know. It just really isn't. We don't know exactly yet. Hopefully we'll know by the time the ball drops this year on what's going on. I know that kind of sounds ridiculous, but we are kind of last minute right now, and a lot of things happened recently. Unfortunately, real close, what I consider to be my second dad passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry about that and for your loss.
So, thank you, and that was Joe Murphy, and he was a big part not just of my life, but he was also basically my sponsor marketing guy. He worked with on the run and whatnot. So, we're making ends meet here with them, and working it out right now and getting the ball back rolling. So I'm looking forward to next year. I hope to be working with all my sponsors that I worked with this year, such as Redline, Power Rush, and Circle K on the run, and further in the future, and hopefully pick up a few more on the way here. I think we got a good program going. We're on the way up the ladder. It just depends on sponsorship how quick we can go. You know what I'm saying? I feel we're putting together something maybe for a K&N Pro Series deal in the future here. If not a full season, at least a few races. At least to get my foot in the door, then get on national TV to where you can get some people looking.
Yeah.
And then we can pick up some more sponsors. So we just really need to get ourselves a little bit more out there. That's the most important thing for us as a goal, as a race team, is continue working hard. Right now I'm waiting on the most popular driver, but to be official or not, I don't know what's going on with it. They got January 4th for Speed51.com. They're going to announce it, so hopefully that'll be big. And who knows if we're going to win it or if we're even close, but if we do, that'd be pretty awesome, because then that's just something more to put on the resume. But not just that, you got so many fans that hopped in and voted for you. So, I got to thank the fans that voted so far.
Well, I wish you luck on that, and I am sorry for your loss again, and hope that you'll be able to accomplish a lot in this upcoming season.
Well, absolutely. I appreciate it, and I'll definitely be letting you guys know what goes on here. I wish I could give you a little more excitement. There's just really, really playing nothing. We are working on our own car here, whether, I hope next year it's more of a show car than anything, throughout the year, and maybe pick up a couple late model races, but, it might end up being a full-time year car, and we'll update it from it. Right now it's 99 chassis,
right?
HAL chassis, so we'll have to get Moon Racing to work and this thing made over so we can go down and race with the big boys at Sobo and Motor Mile and Langley and everywhere like that, because, it's a little different than the Old Dominion surface we're on now.
Right. Did you ever try to run that Denny Hamlin event before, or for the late models?
Now, we're qualified for it for 2013.
Okay.
So we're really looking forward to that. We did run it this year, and I got to thank my fans. They raised $10,000.
Oh, wow.
and that was a fundraiser we put on, and it took 2 weeks. So, for those racers out there that don't believe it can be done, it can be done. You just got to want it, and you got to push it hard enough.
Yeah, get a little elbow grease in it.
Yep.
Yeah, and the most important thing is got to be nice to the fans and appreciate what they're doing for you at all times. You can't just do it when you want to,
Mm-hmm.
That was exciting. We went to that, and unfortunately, since we only had about 6 days to put the car together, because we found out last minute, started the fundraiser last minute, and got there at the last minute, that we got there right, and when we got there, we weren't too bad. We were top 20, then got into the top 10 for a little bit on the first day of practice and stayed there, and then when we went back for the race, we had changed a lot of stuff, and it didn't work out. And we were a little bit slower than we thought, but found out we had a bad carburetor all day long, but we didn't find out until after qualifying.
Oh, my.
Qualified, the car just sputtered and carried on the whole time, and qualified, like 35th out of the 40 that were there, just enough to make the show, thank goodness.
Oh.
And put a new carburetor on. Had to start last, which, that was a big deal. Had to start 36th instead of 35th.
Oh, talk about skinning your teeth.
Shot 23rd, so, it still was a good time. I mean, I passed Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch on my way to the front, so I felt good about that.
That's an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That was at Richmond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at Richmond. We're going to go way more prepared this year.
How was it How was it driving at Richmond? Was it pretty neat?
Oh, man, that was awesome. That was the best racetrack, most fun I've ever had on a racetrack, and not just because it's Richmond. I've raced on Bristol, mostly on the inside, and that was a good time, but there's nothing like Richmond, man. You just
come off 4 and you just hold it straight to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it feels like a super speedway down a front straightaway, and you're thinking, late model, we only got, 400 horsepower. We're not going to be sliding up off the corners. It doesn't matter. At Richmond, you were coming up off the corner, sideways off the floor, just wheeling the thing. If you were a little bit loose, you were sliding all the way up off. It was hard to get grip.
Right.
So it was fun. It was really fun.
You sad Old Dominion's closing down? Or are you ready for this new track?
I'll say I'm sad to see the facility go. As always, but I'll say if they get this new track going, which tomorrow night, by the way, is the first meeting they're going to have down there. I'm not sure what courthouse it is, but on the Dominion Speedway fan page, it's big. We got to get some race people there. Unfortunately, of course, the first night I'm working.
Yeah.
So I'm really mad about it because I really want to be there. But I got some friends that are going that live right in that area and can really put an effect on the turnout, I believe. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to have a new racetrack. If they're getting rid of the other one, we got to replace it. I'm tired of seeing these tracks go and have no replacement.
Yeah.
Do you know where exactly this new track they're planning on putting it?
Exit. Shoot, I don't know the exits too well, but I know it's in between mile marker 110 and 118 in Spotsylvania on Mud Tavern Road.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right off the exit, and you're going to be able to see it from the highway.
Okay.
You're going to have a entire road course that goes all the way down. I guess there's a river right there goes alongside of it.
Right.
Nice.
And it was right across the highway. Not across, but I mean right towards the highway. So you'll be able to see the road course. You'll be able to see a circle track, and I believe they're going to put in a quarter-mile drag strip.
Yeah, they did have a drag strip out there at Old Dominion, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was an 1/8 mile.
Yeah, it was a little 1/8 mile track.
But I think it's going to be a quarter at this one. Of course, they got the guys that don't want to see the racetrack built down there. They started a website.
All right.
I think it's Stop the Raceway or Stop the Racetrack, something like that .com.
Right.
And I'm pretty upset about it because I feel like it's going to be really good for their economy down there. It's going to bring a lot of new things. Yes, they have valid questions, but I know for a fact that those questions have been talked about and answered by all the officials down there.
Right.
But I can understand as a person that lives there that you haven't heard all these answers. That I can understand why you'd be angry. You just think, they decided they're going to put it in here. They haven't even decided, you're putting it right next to a river and the traffic and all that. Well, they have.
Right.
Just haven't announced it or talked about it yet, and that's what tomorrow night's about, is to get all those secrets out to the people, not just to the people heavily involved at our racetrack, you know?
Right. At least it's not no Starbucks or a Walmart.
I know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the thing is they're talking about building restaurants on the property of the racetrack.
What?
If you know, I remember going to Dover there that you got a casino right on the racetrack, and Chicago Uno is like right off the side of it,
Right.
off the side of the property. And I mean, that turned out awesome if you can get, you know, people to roll in there and be buying now. I mean, that just helps the racetrack more because more business goes in there. Hey, why don't we see a race? You know,
Right.
It's all about the economic impact.
I know. You need to start something that says keep the racetrack. I mean, goodness.
I know.
And I don't think they understand. Like, you know, you might not be into racing, but lots of people who are will definitely come there to see it. Like you said, it's gonna help out the economy and everything around there. And so what? You're gonna have, like you said, another Starbucks or Walmart or restaurant that you could go probably another mile down the way to get. You know?
Absolutely, and that's exactly how they should be thinking. Is it's big for their area if they want to get, if the businesses aren't necessarily striving. Yeah, it's called StopTheRaceway.com. You'll see the stuff, and yeah, they have valid questions, but they're talking about like one of the things is sound.
Oh.
Right.
And I said, you start reading it, and they're complaining about it because there's schools within 10 miles of them. And I'm like, last time I heard a race during school times, I can't remember that. So I don't know how that's a complaint. But there's a lot of things on there. Yeah, I understand. But they said the traffic is going to change everything down there. I'm a little confused on that because last time I checked, every time I get 95 south, it doesn't matter whether there's a racetrack there or not. It takes an hour and a half to get anywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
And also, you know, if they put the racetrack there, then there's going to be race fans that are coming there who are going to want dinner before or afterwards. Or they might say, hey, we're here early, let's go check out this place and go shopping. So that's also going to bring more people to shop at their local stores or or area around there, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And there, you know, a lot of questions they got is such as they say, here's one: the area landscape will be polluted. Well, you got 95 right alongside of it. You got
people throw stuff out the window all the time.
I know, drives me insane.
If you have 40, say you get a full field of Sprint Cup cars to go on a racetrack there for 3 hours. It's 3 hours of 43 cars going in a circle in a controlled area, and it's not like you look around Old Dominion Speedway and see trees falling down because the race cars are so, you know, polluting. You know what I'm saying? They're bad for. I understand where they're coming from on some of them, but there's answers for all of them, and some of them are kind of unreasonable. But you know, I just hope they fight hard for it here and we get it down there. You know, I really think it is not just a thing for the race car people to have another racetrack to be at. Something to do for these young guys instead of racing down the road, get them racing on a racetrack instead. You know, get them a 4-cylinder U car, go racing instead of racing down. I mean, I know there's roads down there. There's people racing on. So, I mean, I know people that live down there. So it would help a lot of things and jobs and all that too. That's what we're all talking about, getting jobs for this economy. So let's build a racetrack.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we're going to be having to let you go, so how about you thank your sponsors before you go?
Absolutely. Thank you. And, yeah, sorry I talk about this all day. I really want that racetrack built. Anyway, I've got to thank the sponsors again from this year. Redline Power Rush, Gazoo Energy, On the Run, Circle K, Hunt's Brothers Pizza, everybody that's helped out, Everett Farm Equipment, the Lawrence family, my Nana Pappy, Utz Chips. We've had so many people this year. It's just unbelievable, and I got to thank everybody for what they've done. And again, in memory of Joe, you know, he's done everything for me, and it's been a tragic loss. I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we will definitely have you on the show again, on here later. We want to thank you for calling us tonight.
Well, I look forward to talking to you guys soon again, so take it easy, and see you soon.
You too. You be safe and have a happy holidays.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
You too.
So I'm reading this website, and they've got.
Oh, you looked up it?
Yeah,
You looked up the website?
They got a couple points that contradict themselves. And now maybe this is coming from something like some of the economic studies that I've done in my classroom experience, because I'm majoring in sports. One of their points is the sheriff's resources will be strained. So I'm imagining that that's their police force out there, is the sheriff's department. Well, the second to last one is it says jobs and business growth is unlikely.
Excuse me? They're going to have to hire people to work at the track, to help the track out.
Well, see, when you pull that into the economic side of the city, you can't count contractors that will be brought in from other cities to help build the track, because they're going to come and go. But if your resources at the sheriff's department are strained, then hire more people within the city as a sheriff's department. So now
it makes too much sense.
It does. I don't know. I mean, maybe I should. We should get an address for here, and I can send them over my sport and economic book. And
and exactly like he said, during the day, school is during the day. Races are held at night. I've never heard. On the weekend, there's no one's at school on the weekend. The only time I've ever been to school on the weekend is if I have to go to Tech Saturday because of drama, and that's like once in the winter and in the spring, and that is it.
My big question for this
Griffin, it's Roger.
Is if the city or the county is paying for the track. Because if that's the case, then I can see why people get so angry. I mean, I don't know. It's like the whole situation. It's not racing, but the whole situation in Virginia Beach trying to get a basketball team. How's it gonna? You've got a study saying that you can get close to $1 million a year. It's just preposterous.
Exactly.
All right, we got another caller on the line. So push the flashing light.
And then the speaker button. Yay, we're learning technology, people. Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Racing.
I broke it again, Roger.
He messed up again. We're having lots of technical difficulties with this guy over here. Lord help us. Wait, can we figure it out, or are we going to cut him off? Hello?
Griffin, you there?
I'm here.
All right, hey, great. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing. We're glad to have you on the show.
I have to put these guys back through technical training again, I tell you.
I know, it's a shame, isn't it? So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Thank you. We're glad to have you on the show, and I'm doing great. So, Griffin, why don't you tell everybody on the show a little bit about yourself?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. My name's Griff Hickman. I'm the Director of Communications for ARCA. We're based in Temperance, Michigan, and that's just north of the Michigan-Ohio border, just north of Toledo, Ohio. And we're very excited to get our 2013 season going with testing at Daytona this Friday, this Saturday, and this Sunday. We're going to be on the big 2.5-mile super speedway with about 50 drivers. So we're very excited to go there. Everyone there at ARCA is looking forward to our 61st season.
That sounds awesome. Now, we'd like to ask you about some of the drivers that are going to be testing there.
Absolutely. Any that you have in mind, or should I just go off the cuff here?
You know what? Go off. Name the list. We'd like to hear everything.
Great. We've got an excellent list. As I said, over 50 drivers confirmed to this point, and still with about a day and a half until we get on track, we do expect some more. Right away, when you think of Daytona and you think of ARCA Racing, you've got to think of the driver, the number 5 car. That's Bobby Gerhart.
Yeah.
Won there 8 times, including the last 3 times, 2010, 2011, and 2012. And he entered to test in his number 5 Bobby Gerhart Racing Chevrolet. Also entered as our 2012 ARCA Racing Series champion from Rulo Brothers Racing. That's going to be Chris Buescher out of Prosper, Texas. He's a 20-year-old kid that 4 races this year, finished second to Gerhart at Daytona back in 2011, and he's going to be back for at least a part-time schedule next season. Tom Hesser, who has finished in the top 10 in each of the last 5 seasons, looks like he's going to be testing with Cunningham Motorsports, the team he ran with most recently in 2010. He's going to be back with that team in their number 22 car. So those are just 3 of the guys that are going to be out there with us. All kinds of names: Chad Hockenbrough, James Hilton, Caleb Armstrong, Mason Mitchell, Benny Chastain, Milka Duno, a lot of names you've heard in ARCA before. Martinsville Speedway President Clay Campbell is going to be out there. So a lot of interesting names and interesting stories on the entry list for this Daytona test.
So Milka Duno, she's sticking with the same team she did last year?
Yeah, that's going to be with David Liner Racing. That's the number 94 Toyota.
Right.
And out of all the different rides she's had in ARCA over the past 3 years or so, this seems to be
most stable operation and the one where she's seen the most improvement. So if she can get beginning of the season and work into a full season, with one team, you might be able to see her make some real progress.
Right. I mean, the past couple times I've been watching ARCA, she's improved a whole lot.
Yes, she absolutely has. There's an award we have called the CGS Imaging Hard Charger Award. For every race, it's the driver who advances the most positions, and Milka had the chance to win that twice last year.
Oh, wow.
So that's something she wouldn't have thought of doing back 2 years ago when she started in our series. But this year, in the second half of the season, she was able to do that twice, and I know she's pretty proud of that. And we're in the business of developing drivers, and she's got a lot of success. She's been in the Indianapolis 500, has a lot of success off the track as she likes to say, 4 master's degrees, so she's very well educated.
Wow.
Now we're trying to bring her along in a stock car career, and she's doing quite well.
That sounds great. That is awesome.
So Billy Venturini still hanging around?
Oh, of course, yes. Venturini is. We actually just had a press conference with Billy at the International Motorsports Industry Show in Indianapolis last weekend, and Billy is going to be stepping back he was the crew chief of that number 25 car, Venturini. Now he's transitioning into a more of a general manager role, where he's going to be able to watch over all of the different Venturini teams. But, of course, you're going to see a lot of those Venturini cars. They're usually the ones that end in the number 5, 15, 25, 35, 55. They also throw a 66 out there, and they've certainly got no shortage of drivers this test. At Daytona, they're going to bring out Justin Boston, the driver of their flagship car. He comes to us from Baltimore, Maryland, in the number 25 Luke Racing Toyota. Number 55, they've got a couple drivers driving that one. Caleb Armstrong, who, of course, is the cousin of Dakota Armstrong, a several-time ARCA winner. And then Taylor Ferns, a 17-year-old girl out of Michigan.
Oh, wow.
USAC midget experience, and is one of the most notable USAC feature winners at just 17 years old. And so we're certainly looking forward to meeting her and having her in the series with the Venturini team.
Yeah, we've had, Milica, we've had her on the show before. We'll have to get her back on, interview her again, and tell her that we had you on the show. Maybe we can try to get you guys on the same night and talk both together.
That sounds great. I'd love to do that.
I was listening to you a little earlier. You said Mr. James Hilton coming back for another year?
Yeah, he's gonna do his best to do that. Of course, James is now 78 years old and working on 79. He's got that reliable number 48 Hilton Motorsports that he keeps on bringing to the track. And, I think there's a lot of times James would like to get someone else in the car, but he's just got that itch. He's been racing for decades and decades, much longer than I've been alive for sure. And there's just something that keeps him going at it. He can't stay away from driving that car. And when he does get out there and race, he's actually pretty reliable.
Wow. Well, what's one driver you're always excited to see at the track that you know really well?
Well, I think it's the guy that I talked about earlier, and that's Chris Buescher. He's a guy we've kind of watched grow up in ARCA. Back in 2010, he won his first race with the Rulo brothers, just 17 years old. Won at ARCA's home track in Toledo. So he's always been a special driver to us. He's won 4 races at that track now in his last, I think, 5 attempts. And yes, 4 and 5 attempts since 2010. And he's just so well-spoken. He's an old-school throwback racer. We were driving down the highway after a race at Polenz one time a couple of years ago, and we drove by one of the haulers. And you see these haulers all the time going up and down the road, especially an hour or two after the race. And who's driving the hauler but Chris Buescher? A lot of other drivers might take a plane or sit in the back of the van on the way out, and here was Chris driving the hauler down the road for the Rulo Brothers racing team.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
He's a very grounded kid that comes from a great family, and it was wonderful to see him have success this season for that team as a Roush family racing developmental driver. And he's always a good conversation and a good quote at the racetrack. So Chris is probably the guy that I would highlight there.
So who got to look for this year? Who we got to keep our eyes on?
Well, I think when you look at Tom Hessert going back to Cunningham Motorsports, he's in that 22 car that was obviously very strong with Alex Bowman this year. Mm-hmm. That team also won 4 races. And Tom, he didn't run the full season with Kenny Schrader, but he ran just about all the races. He won at Salem in September. So I think Hessert going back to the number 1 team there at Cunningham Motorsports, they should have the resources. they say that they're in better shape than they've ever been, or at least in the last 4 or 5 years, to contend for a championship. And Tom is a guy who's finished in the top 10 of the point standings in each of the last 5 years, so he might be a good one to look out for. Of course, Buscher, he said the same thing last year. He was going to run 8 races and maybe 10, and then it became maybe 12, 14. Oh, and what the heck, hey, let's run the full season. We're here. So you never know. If he can run the full season, you've got to think that a guy who was second in 2011 and first in 2012 is certainly going to be a contender to watch this season.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So when is Daytona this year? What's the date?
That race is going to be on Saturday, February 16th. The time, as we understand it to be right now, it's still subject to change. It's 4:30 p.m. as it's been in recent years, and that will be televised live on Speed. We're very fortunate to have a relationship with Speed, and that we have 10 races every year televised on that network. That's going to be the first of 10 this year. An exciting thing about that race is it's the 50th Daytona race. Back in 1964, Bill France invited our founder, John Martin, to come down to Daytona to bring his Midwestern-based stock car tour down to Daytona and race on this big track. And we haven't missed a year since. So this is going to be installment number 50 of ARCA at Daytona, and we're very excited for it.
That sounds great. Well, unfortunately, the show is coming to a close. We will definitely have you on the show again and later so we can share and talk more about some more information coming up.
Okay, great. I look forward to that. Thanks for having me on as we look forward to the 2013 season. Have a great holiday season, guys.
You too. Be safe. Have a happy holidays.
Right.
Well, tonight was interesting with all the little technical
Tonight's
difficulties.
not done.
Tonight's not over.
I'm just saying tonight was interesting with all the technical difficulties. Can I not make a little comment?
No, you made the comment to him. We were getting ready to close the show.
But you...
There's one at 8 o'clock.
Oh. Well, what time is it?
It's 8:01.
It's 8:01.
Bob Jackson.
All right. So we're waiting for Bob.
No, I'm calling Bob.
Oh, you're calling Bob.
What about Bob?
You're calling him.
So, what y'all think? You got a quick little education about ARCA?
ARCA.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to have had a spot to put him on for at least a half hour. To talk more, because that's originally when we had him set was for 7:45, so we had the extra time.
Yeah.
But when he calls me at 7:44, and I already put somebody in because he hadn't called. That's when I just peered around the corner a while ago.
Well, I mean, I've been following ARCA as well as long as I have the Sprint Cup Series. So, I mean, it's an interesting division. There are a lot of rookies up and coming, a lot of people to keep their eyes on.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Looking forward to it. We're going to have a good season coming up. And I'm glad I got that date so I can get ready and set it on my calendar. How many days again, Raj? Don't we have it like 74?
73 to
okay,
500.
Bob, we'll put you on hold and switch over to the main line, okay?
Okay, now we have Bob. We're going to have him on soon a little bit. Raj is putting him on.
Push the blinking line
Push the blinking light. Let's see if we can get it right this time. Hello, it's Let's Talk Racing.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, sorry, he finally got it. He's been trying to figure out this phone all night. Hello, Bob. We're glad to have you on the show.
You didn't scare him off already, did you?
Yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah, he's already scared him off, Lord.
Well, while we got some time, why don't you go ahead and tell the new listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself?
Basically, we've got an ARCA nationwide team. I drove myself for 35 years. I've won over 50 races. I don't know. I mean, that's about it, you know.
Yeah, just sum it all up real short and sweet there, right?
Yeah. No, I've been doing this a long time, probably over 40 years now.
We hear that you have a good reputation as a crew chief, and you're really known for that, and yet you're very racy savvy.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from, driving myself for 35 years and basically knowing what it takes to win races and stuff. So, I don't get excited on the radio and yell and scream because I know, what it's all about out there too. So, I mean, I can help the drivers' learning curve get caught up in a big hurry because, he relates to me on stuff that the car is doing. I've been there and done that before, so, it works pretty good.
Who are some of the drivers that you've had the honor or pleasure to work with?
Well, I mean, I've worked with Ron Hornaday, Mike Bliss, actually Stuart Kirby, Deborah Renshaw, Christy Passmore. There's Robert Richardson, Willie Allen. It's a long list.
Yeah, that's one of our buddies, Robert Richardson. Yeah,
Robert Richardson. I met him when Roger took me to my first Richmond race. That's my buddy there.
Yeah, actually, when he came from the late models and came to me first, and we raced 2 years in the ARCA deal, and then he moved up, and I did his first year with the trucks for him, and then I got to do a cup deal after that, so they kind of went out and tried to do their own thing after that, so.
Good deal. Looks like you've did something for a movie back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I built 6 cars for the Days of Thunder stuff.
Oh, wow.
And actually, a lot of the cars that Tom Cruise drove himself were the cars that I prepared and he ran and stuff. And
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
You're jealous?
Yes, because I love acting and everything like that. So you just saying this is making me cringe and crawl under my skin.
Well, I also built 43 cars for the Prince of Dubai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in 07, he wanted to have his own stock car series, for that new track he built in Dubai. I built him 43 turnkey cars
Wow.
in 6.5 months.
Goodness gracious. That's awesome, though.
With that Days of Thunder movie, did they wreck any of your cars, or was that some other type of cars they wrecked?
Actually, I'm trying to think what car it was. I think it was the Kodiak car, the 25 car that they kind of blew up and it flipped up in the air and stuff.
Oh, wow.
That was one of my cars. And then the 6th car, the green and yellow car that he did all the bouncing off the fence and stuff like that, that was my car.
Doesn't it just sort of make you cringe? You put all that good work into it, and you know something like that's going to happen to them.
It's just going to crash.
Well, I mean, for the cars that we prepare today and stuff, it probably bothers me more. But then, when I was doing the deal for them, they were real race cars to a point. But, I mean, they didn't have, real good engines and stuff like that. So
yeah,
they wrecked more cars than you can imagine. Right. Stunt drivers that actually were doing all the stunt driving were motorcycle guys. They weren't even real, race car type stunt drivers.
Oh,
so that really made a mess.
Oh, gosh. And then you get to watch it on the movie over and over again.
Yeah.
Did you get...
They wrecked a lot of stuff. Now, some of it was supposed to have been on purpose, but a lot of it was because they didn't know what they were doing.
Oh, wow. Well, that had to be crazy, especially when you have to watch that, like he says, all that work that you had to do. I have a question. Did you do anything for the movie about Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights?
No, I didn't, because they were doing that at the same time I was doing the Dubai deal, so I was kind of really covered up doing all that.
That's a shame.
I didn't get the opportunity to work on that one.
Hey, Bob, I did get to enjoy going out to Charlotte when they were doing that, and talked to quite a few of the guys out there doing some of the driving and everything out there. I was trying to convince them to let me go do some of it.
Oh, goodness. I'm glad they didn't, Lord.
Well, hold on. I was a late model driver. I could do just about anything they were doing.
But I think you would have had a little too much fun with that, Raj.
Well, what they need to do is let some of the guys that have done the schools and stuff like that, let them go out and do it, because they're going to do a lot better footage and, you know, driving stuff than the guys that know how to do it.
Uh-oh.
What is that?
It's his phone. The bat phone.
That was my phone, sorry.
At the show, they did require that all the stunt drivers go through the driving school.
Yeah, and see, and that basically was because of what happened with that Days of Thunder movie. I mean, they hurt some of them guys. I mean, we were at Darlington, and they told them that they wanted the guy to spin out, come down off the racetrack, and then the guy was supposed to go by and just kind of graze the front of the car. And I was just delivering another car to them, and we were watching this going on, and the guy spun out, came down the racetrack, and the guy hit him in the door.
Oh. Holy.
That was before all that phone and stuff.
Them guys away.
Ooh. Wow. Talk about getting you on the edge of your seat there, Lord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No wonder everything's so intense when you watch the movie.
Behind the scenes stuff that them guys do to, make the cars look, how they look dirty and stuff like that. All that stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow, that sounds awesome. That just sounds really cool. Especially because I love hearing about the behind-the-scenes stuff, about what happens in movies, because of my love for acting and everything. That's awesome you got to be able to work with that. We want to know if you are heading to Daytona.
Yeah, I'm leaving in the morning at 8 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So how far you got to drive? Where's home?
I'm here in Morrisville, right outside of Charlotte.
Okay.
It takes us about... we probably make it there in about 7 hours.
Oh, wow, that sounds cool. Jeez. Not as long as drive as me and Rod had to take one time. Don't care to go into that in about 16 hours of driving, but all the way up to Iowa, but I've done lots of traveling, and that's not too bad.
So you've raced for 35 years. You got a favorite track you've ran through those 35 years?
Yeah, my favorite tracks are probably, like the Milwaukee Mile. I'm from Chicago originally, so I grew up, racing around the Midwest there with, guys like Dick Trickle and,
right.
Them guys. And, I won Milwaukee 4 times, and then, right, to me, the two racetracks are kind of similar, just in the way you drive them in Pocono, because I won Pocono 6 times.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Milwaukee's been around forever. A lot of people don't understand that Milwaukee's been around for years. As an IndyCar track and places like that.
Yeah, it's actually the oldest racetrack in the United States.
Yep.
Now, do you have a least favorite track you've been to that you really don't like that much going to, or you're like, oh man, I got to race here, this track's real tricky, or something like that?
How much time do you have?
Oh my! Well, how much do we have?
You're the last one tonight on the show.
You're the last one.
I ran with the ARCA cars, places like, Killcare, Flat Rock, Shady Bowl, places like that. Those places there, they put on good racing and stuff, but they just tear up a lot of equipment. And, take a 3,500-pound race car and try to get around a quarter-mile racetrack is rough.
Well, in your 35-year racing career, have you ever tried to come out here to Langley Speedway at all, or out here in Hampton, Virginia?
No, never been to Langley.
Okay.
Oh, you'll have to come on down here then.
I've been across the street to Road America there, Road Atlanta there.
Right.
Cool.
Take that one, Justin?
Well, I was kind of wondering in the past that you've both racing and building cars. Do you have a car style, year that you've liked the best, or that's the easiest or hardest to build? Something that was just difficult for you?
Well, I think probably, the Dubai cars were probably the hardest for me to build because they were like IROC cars. Everything on them had to be exactly the same. Them guys, they got, I'm not going to say they got carried away, but everything I did on them cars had to be within a quarter of an inch, it was like an IROC series because all the cars were the same, but they just, there was some stuff that they, didn't really make a difference, but they wanted the tolerance on all the tires to be within a quarter of an inch.
Holy
that just took a lot of time.
That is crazy. That is insane.
Well, give us a little pitch about your race team services and the stuff you provide for race teams.
Well, basically now what we're doing is, like the driver development thing, we're bringing a lot of young kids in, or, older people, racers, whatever, and, we rent our cars to them so we can take them to places like Daytona and Pocono, Kentucky, and Michigan and places like that, so they can get geared up for the, for this kind of racing with the 3,400-pound car and radial tires, and so they, they kind of have to do to get the NASCAR approval, if you will. They got to kind of come through the ARCA deal and run, 10, 12 races or whatever, so they can get onto the approval process for NASCAR, used to be that you could just come in and just, you know, if you had the money to drive something, you could come and drive a truck, a nationwide car, whatever. But now they've got a pretty big deal on this approval thing.
Well, that sounds awesome.
The biggest thing I'm offering everybody is, you know, I can cut your learning curve in half because, you know, I drove, I know how to do all this stuff, and I'm still playing with them a little bit. I run the road courses and some of the short track stuff myself still, so I still play in it.
All right. Well, what do you think of the French guy is a question that we have.
I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
We don't. I'm not gonna try to pronounce the name because I feel like I'm gonna do really bad at it.
What's that?
There's a French guy that's supposed to be coming out and doing ARCA testing, and this will be his second time ever getting into a stock car.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you think that's quote unquote fair that some of the other drivers have to prove themselves, and they're going to go ahead and throw him on a super speedway second time in a stock car?
Well, you know, to me, I took a girl last year. Her name was Jenny Quinez, and basically the only thing she had ever raced was legend cars, midgets, and stuff like that. And I took her to Daytona last year, and she did an excellent job. And when we were done, we were 7th fastest out of 54 cars.
Wow.
Oh, holy cow.
So, I mean, it just, you know, just because he's brand new and he doesn't have a lot of experience doesn't mean that he can't do it.
True.
Start somewhere. I mean, Daytona is a little edgy to start with, but, I mean, I'm bringing a guy there this weekend from Omaha, Nebraska, and he's never run anything bigger than half-mile dirt.
Oh.
Well, Daytona might be a little eye-opener.
That'll be interesting, a good experience for him.
Well, see what I did with him. His name is Scott Green.
Scott Green?
I had him come up here, or over here, whatever it is, from Omaha there, and he spent 3 days with me here over at Motor Mile. And we tested there we probably put 350 laps on the car, so at least it gives them some idea of what the cars are like and what they feel like, their braking and their acceleration and stuff like that. You know, today, with the restrictor plate stuff we have for Daytona and Talladega, honestly, guys, it's so easy to drive, you wouldn't believe it.
All right. Well, show is going to be
coming. And racing when it was unrestricted. Now that's a different story.
Right.
Oh.
Slipstreaming and all that.
Yeah, let's not get on that, Joe.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, gosh. Well, the show's going to be coming to a close, so we're going to let you go, and we will definitely have you here on the show again later, and we want to hear some more information about this old behind-the-scenes stuff that you have for us. I'm really interested in hearing that.
Okay.
So, we want you to be safe and have a happy holidays.
Drive safe down to Daytona.
Merry
And
Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you, too. And you have a good drive and safe drive up there, all right?
Okay, well, we'll be talking to you again.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you know how to work it? You got this?
we're speaker.
Oh, there you go. He's figured it out.
Hello.
Better be careful. That has happened.
Oh,
Somebody
that
pick it
would've
up
been
before it
interesting.
rings and somebody's on the line.
He figured it out, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Lord. I guess this is why I sit there, because I figured it out a little bit. Roger's still training me, but not that bad. If you did that, this is not mine. Roger should have had a fit with you. He pretended to do the mug like that on here. That would have not been good.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
Use guys.
Yeah, funny.
Some people's kids.
Yeah, ha, ha,
So
ha.
bright, my daddy called me son.
Oh, Lord.
All right,
What were some of your nicknames there, girl?
My nicknames?
From your dad.
From my daddy?
Yeah,
My
from
dad?
from
Hell, my brother calls me String Bean.
Don't know why.
Don't ask. Yeah, don't have no idea why.
Tonight it's a purple string bean.
What kind of slight? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see. My dad, he just really calls me, every time he's on the phone with me, he always calls me beautiful. He says, "How you doing there?" Little bit is a nickname. He says, "I'm about to break that finger. I'm about to break your hand. Watch me." Dad doesn't really have many nicknames for me. Some, but not that many.
Hey, well, thank everybody for listening.
Well, we'd like to thank y'all for coming and watching the show tonight.
They came and watched?
they came on their computers and they watched the show.
Yeah, there's a whole fan population.
Well, there's a whole fan population out there, Roger, watching right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you guys next week.
Come catch up with us next week with Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driving 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Let's Talk Racing is brought to you by PC Doctors, Computer Sales and Services. This doctor still makes house calls. And also Hampton Incredible Tees and Signs, both located at 1248 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia.